Good evening, or good afternoon, actually. I'm in the middle of work. I work a lot. I work 60 plus hours a week. Sometimes all I do is just go home, sleep, get up in the morning, have my meals, go to work. But, it's a rotating. I don't have much of a social life right now. I wish I did. It'd be nice to have friends or a special friend to go do things with. That would be awesome to do, but right now I'm just in a point of having to work really a lot of hours, and I don't mind it. I work with people with developmental disabilities. I've done that for 26 years, and it's very rewarding. I don't think people understand the rewarding aspect of it, and I am very good with people in all facets, whether it's mental illness or developmental disability. And believe me, I've gone through my share of stress, and I don't even get into it. But today I wanted, because it reminded me of narcissism. And I didn't know what narcissism was until the person I dated. I was married 18 years. My wife went through a lot in her teenage years with her younger sister and everything. A lot of things was going with mom and dad, and sometimes she had to be the sole provider, and she went through a lot. She was survival mode. But anyway, she grew up in her faith. She was strong, and she let God allow her to heal her wounds and go through a lot, and she became a very strong woman, not with a narcissistic personality. She had issues. I have issues. We all have issues. But I learned something in dating and narcissism that I never realized before. And can a Christian be a narcissist? I don't think so. Because two things have to consist of being a Christian, and that's humbling yourself and admitting when you're wrong. I think we all have to do that when we sin against God or when we sin against each other. We need to go to God, and we need to go to each other and ask for forgiveness, from the simplest things to the most extreme thing. Humility, and a narcissist cannot be humble. They are always the victim no matter what. They cannot come to you and admit they're wrong. In fact, you're wrong majority of the time with them. But I learned some things about it, because when you start dating a narcissist, they love bomb you. I mean, everything and it happens quick, within 2, 3, 4 weeks. They love bomb you. They want you to call them. It's like, when you meet someone you truly, really like, and you make an effort to really call them every day, every morning, and then the relationship deepens where you want to hear from each other 2, 3 times a day, whether it's texting or phone calling, and then the relationship gets deeper where something's wrong if you don't talk to each other 2, 3 times a day. And that happened for a while, but I was love bombed. I had a $300 watch given to me. Although I loved the Petra concert and got to go VIP. See, I learned a narcissist studies you. And they do that. They can do that while they're online, while they have a simple friendship with you. This type of narcissism, they get to know what you like. In all the cases, she got to know what kind of Christian bands I liked, so she bought the tickets. Hockey. She bought me hockey tickets to Columbus Blue Jacket games. Everything I would like. But then if there was one thing that she didn't like, then it upset her and all that. And I didn't go in the details, but then I made one mistake. I think I got mad once when I thought she was jealous, and I told her to fly a leap. I'm not going to use the language but it wasn't that bad. And she got all upset, and she wanted to break off the relationship, even after I apologized. You know what? I should have just let it end. It was early in the relationship. I should just let it end. And then one day I remember I was upset, and I wasn't emotionally bonded. And here's another thing. You get emotionally bonded when you're love bombed. and especially when you're vulnerable and hurting and looking for companionship. And she knew where to get to me. She knew my vulnerable point. She studied me. She knew what I liked, what I didn't like, how she could attack me emotionally, lead me in and attack me emotionally, and kind of hold me. And I, men are supposed to be tough. I'm gentle. And then if I would have done it differently, I should have just told her. One time I told her to kiss my ass, and I should have just let it go at that and forgot it. I begged to come back, and I should have never done that, really. And then another time she got me upset, and I tried calling her, and she wouldn't talk to me, and then she finally answered the phone and said she's getting married in a few days. And then when I threatened to shut her down and block her on Facebook, that's when she got scared. She got really scared. And actually, the very few times she said she was sorry, she admitted that. But she had a lot invested. See, she had a concert to go to. We went to the Creation Museum, too, and the art. She had money she put into all these things that, and no one else was going to go with her. So she had to use, once she committed herself and her money to this, because really she wasn't really interested in me. After I got her upset one time, then I was not that perfect person anymore. And any romance, because we were romantic. We had a lot of romance. And once she started to judge my flaws, she devalued me and devaluated me. And I didn't look at it. I mean, I could have, believe me, there were several times I just should have shut the door down and said, see ya. But I'm the type of guy who tries to work through every point of a relationship. Me and Ruth went through a lot of very difficult times, and we never gave in. But this was different, and I should have sensed it, but I didn't, because I was vulnerable. I was hoping to find a mom for my kids, and I was hoping a lot of different ways. She knew my weak spots, and that's about narcissism. They study you, they research you. They know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they know where they can exploit you and manipulate you. And when you're a widower and when you're going through very tough times, it's easier to exploit than someone who's on their guard. And it's very deceptive. And she did that. She did it very effectively, and I just bought into it. But I did love her. I prayed for her. I'd call her. I would check up on her. We were only a couple hours away. When she would leave here, or when we met halfway sometimes, I'd always check up on her and make sure she got home. I would always try to call and pray for her circumstances, with whether it was family, a job. I cared. Honestly, as much as I hate to admit it, I think I fell in love. But I fell in love with a narcissist. And I was in an emotionally deep state. But as time went on, over the period of months, probably from the end of October into January, she gave me a real subtle hint. She didn't want to spend time a lot with me. She didn't want to spend enough time on the phone. If we met each other, she wanted to get away from me as quickly as she could, but in some cases she couldn't, because she spent the money. Whether it was the event or a hotel room or hotel rooms or whatever, she had to do that. But you could tell, and I should have recognized that, even though as a Christian I will care for her and pray for her and all that. And it's a shame. It really is. There really was never any friendship. It was just, I was played, I was studied, I was played for, and I was picked on because I was vulnerable. And it's sad. As a Christian, you should not be doing that to anybody. In what respect? I've admitted, and I confronted her, and I said, hey, I forgive you, and forgive me for anything I've done to you. And ultimately, she still thinks she didn't do anything wrong. And that's sad. And I'm very, very, I look at everybody very, very closely after being involved in a relationship, especially when you get emotionally bonded and close, even as far as affection. So that's my life. That's my experience with narcissism. And I'm saying this for both men and women. Watch very closely on and study narcissism. I learned all this after the relationship was over. And it helped me heal, actually. TikTok helped me heal. So anyway, I just want to share that.